Morning, guys. Guess what? We're positive for the week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is positive. S&P is essentially flat. Remarkable comeback considering what happened on Monday. Take a look at the sectors, and it's the cyclicals that are leading. So you're seeing energy stocks, banks having a good morning, retail stocks, energy. China now has gone negative on some concerns about Evergrande, but overall market's positive here. Microcosm on the earnings situation and on the corporate America from Darden. Excellent numbers, really good numbers. And the same-store sales were really strong. But look what they said. They're having some serious staffing problems. So this is the labor shortages. They're having to quarantine some workers which is causing obviously some disruptions. They're concerned about raising prices too much. They're now talking about what we ought to be doing is focusing on lowering costs, not raising prices. This is a microcosm of what corporate America is going through right now. It's not hurting Darden. They had great numbers. That 163, that's an historic high, I believe, for Darden. So great day for them overall. Nike after the close, another great global bellwether. Remember, they bet 40–50% of the sneakers are made in Vietnam. They've had disruptions there. We'll hear about supply chain disruptions from them as well. How serious that is. They get maybe 20% of their sales from China, so we'll see how the lockdown's affecting them. This is another great company because it's truly global. Supply chain's global, their sources are global, their revenues are global. Take a look at the revenues here. North America is about 40%, but you can see Greater China is about 20%, Europe and the Middle East 26%. So really good read on the global economy, always good from Nike. And remember, they had an amazing earnings beat back in June. They beat like 80%. You see that big move up? That was June. 80% beat on their earnings. I don't expect that to happen again, but you get the idea. It really does move them. I've been asked a lot about exposures, ETF exposures to Evergrande. And the answer is for U.S. investors, generally small, but there are ways that people have been exposed here. So there's some global real estate funds. Global X runs a China real estate fund there. You see it CHIR, and you see that effect there moving down on that. But even there, the exposure is very small for Evergrande. Vanguard runs a global real estate investment ETF, ex-US. Again, very, very tiny exposures there. And there are some people out there who are going into emerging market high yield fund. Emerging market high yield, yeah. Some of these throw off 4.5%, 5%. There's one, EEMD. That's got some very small exposure, again, to Evergrande. But this goes to this idea. People are really reaching for yield out there, and sometimes you get very high on the risk spectrum. Finally, we are waiting for Gary Gensler, the SEC chair, to issue his report. He has promised Congress months a report by the end of summer, and this is it, on GameStop, Robinhood, Reddit. What happened with all that? He's particularly indicated that he has some concerns with some aspects of market trading, market structure in the United States, particularly regarding gamification of trading and also payment for order flow. Now, I sat down with Larry Tabb. He's one of the great experts on market structure in the United States for my Trader Talk column today. So if you want to understand payment for order flow and whether it is or is not harming retail investors, tradertalk.cnbc.com for more on that. And Carl, I'm anticipating a report probably within the next week or so. He's been promising this report for months on what happened there, and investors are eagerly awaiting that. Carl?